So is Italy the best place to live? For me, it is, due to its tourist attraction and due to the fact that it's an ancient civilization. The landscape, the territory did not just, happen all of a sudden. It has been, in existence way back, So, with the historical figures, the culture, the traditions, and all of that, so it is something you want to be closer to, in as much as Italy does not have a minimum wage, but still, it's the closest you can get to history. In Bologna, not far from here, just 2 hours train from here. Bologna has one of the oldest university in the world, not just, so Italy is an historic territory that needs to be explored. So many unique things about the country, just because everyone is working, just trying to live up life. So the reality has been shifted of how life is supposed to be about. The reality has been shifted. So what's the reality? That is what the government wants from everybody. Don't stress yourself. Just live your life. If you are hungry, we'll give you food. If your salary is not enough, we'll give you palliative. Just enjoy your life. That is what the government wants. And at the end of the day, discover that it is not what the people want. It is not what the people want. And there are so many historical structures in Italy that, aside from walking, is just something one needs to explore. And there's a city in Italy, up north on the island, if I'm not mistaken, where the people live above 100 years. This is no cap. They live above 100 years. And you like, how? It's just a remote, town. They live above 100 years. So, which is why Italy records a country with the oldest people. That tells you just one thing. If you live in Italy, you might likely live long. Sorry for that. You might likely live long, the life expectancy is way, way out of line, beyond what you can even imagine. The life expectancy is high. Although there are hitches and, untimelies, but the life expectancy is encouraging. It's encouraging. It's way encouraging. So, and also younger Italians, they are also burdened by older generations' benefits. Because fewer workers supporting more retirees, like I said before. Which could definitely lead, or probably if something is done quickly, to unstable pensions. Now the government is trying to render, certain measures to curb this, unsustainability by that flows decree. But the question will remain, where will they live? Because the people that are here, they are looking for an apartment to stay. Everybody is looking for where to stay. Comfortable. Everybody wants to be comfortable. They are still on the search. So where will the people that are coming in get an accommodation? Now, for clarity's sake, let's say number of people that the government will give permission to enter Italy legally to work this year. Let's see. Now, according to the stats, between this year and 2028, the government is likely to give access to 497,000 migrant workers visas to come work in the country in various sectors, not just one sector, in various sectors, ranging from agriculture to tourism to construction, to factory workers and caregivers, different sectors. 497,000. Where will they stay? Where will they stay? And that's the funny thing. Where will they stay? What's the provisions like? But what is most interesting about this is that it doesn't concern the government. Why? Because this access is being given to individuals. Oh, just make the requests. Look for the sectors that, or anyone that can get them, these applications, and you provide the housing for them. The government has no hand in it. All they do is just approve whoever they want to come in when the threshold is capped, is done. So where they stay is not their business anyway. So it's still a crisis, because the burden, it will also create more pressure on the housing system. Although the government have been trying on so many occasions, regardless of how they've not been able to spend more on affordable housing, which is the social housing. The government have been trying to encourage the younger generations, the youngsters, just to try and get their own place for themselves. Not everyone wants to get a mortgage. And because of the disadvantages, not just because of the advantage, because when you talk about advantage, you also talk about the disadvantage. And basically, part of the disadvantage about getting a mortgage, you are stuck in that zone or in that region without the ability to move elsewhere. So if, for example, you get a better offer elsewhere, you can't move because you're stuck. You have to pay the mortgage. Yeah, most people do it. They move and they put out the place for rent, but sometimes it's strenuous, trying to toggle between here and where you are, meet up with the bank, and making the people pay, or your tenant pay the rent as at when due. One of the paramount issue. So the government have been doing a lot, trying to fill up the pension gap. And I did a video last year and I said in due time, probably there won't even be any pension age anymore. The UK has also tried to increase the pension year, trying to, you know, oh, people are going on pension, they are still too young to go on pension. You can imagine. So they are trying to cap the age at a particular threshold, and no one is saying anything about it. Italy has increased its own. No one is saying anything about it. Although it's for the good, you just have to walk in, your bones cave in, and it's absurd, really absurd. But mm, what can you do about it? It's nothing. You can't do anything about it. I was speaking to, just making a joke, to my colleagues at work. I was just like letting them know that, oh, we youngsters, we are not supposed to work. We are supposed to enjoy life. Then when we get to 40, 45, we can start working. Then even if the government does not want us to go on pension, we'll work till they take us out. So it was more or less like a joke, but it's a serious one, because the youngsters don't want to work anymore. Nobody wants to work. Why should I stress myself and work till I get to my pension age? Mind you, there's a cap to it. You have to work roughly 42 years, 43 years just to go on pension. Though there's an age cap where when you get there, you have to go. Depends on the contribution you make, because man, your future is well calculated. You can calculate your future from now. Your future pension, I mean, you can calculate it from now. So that's just crazy. It's crazy. So the government have been trying so many innovative solutions, but sometimes some of the solutions are even worse off. They are worse off. They are worse off. Because trying to create a social structure, after the COVID-19 pandemic, and the roadmap is quite okay. It's quite okay. But the government should engage individuals. Okay. Okay, now I'm faced with this connection issue. Okay. Okay, so